So I, probably like many of you, grew up playing Minecraft. It was always a staple for me, along with games like Lego Batman 2 and Halo Reach. This game's creativity and adventure always kept me coming back to it, but the thing that mainly kept me coming back to it after these years were the music discs. No matter what it was, could have been an SMP or even a single player world, I would always make it my mission to collect all of the music discs. It was like collecting the Infinity Stones, just way more groovy. But in short, I have a long history with music discs. And I thought instead of doing videos I wanted to do for other games in the first place, I'd just go back to my roots and talk about these discs. So I'll be ranking them both in order and give them a score out of 10, just so it's easy to see how I rank these. And to be perfectly clear, this is my opinion entirely, and if you have a different list, that's more than amazing, and feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll also be having guests coming on the show periodically to give their opinions on what they think about the best disc. And finally, a disclaimer, I'll be using the soundtrack and the in-game versions of 11 as two separate songs. Now let's head to number 16. Okay, yeah, this is a shock to no one who's actually listened to the music discs. There's really not a lot to like about this disc. I know this wasn't supposed to be a music one. I know it's supposed to be one of those, that's just a theory discs, but when I expect to get a music disc, I expect to be grooving to it to at least some extent. I do like some of the echoed synths spread throughout the song, and if I'm honest, the song entirely creeped me out as a kid. I think because it was always used in those "I ran into Herobrine at 3 a.m. and he charged me for tax evasion" videos. Now let's head over to the guest table to see whose favorite this is. Oh, well, that checks out. Really, the only reason I put this one over 13 is for the nostalgia factor. That cracked black disc has always really been so recognizable, and the panicked breathing with the weird cave and dark sounds, just to be jump scared by a random cough, is very unique to find in Minecraft. Realistic sounds aren't in many areas of Minecraft, so to just all of a sudden get a random realistic coughing noise in a music disc is just so unnerving. The ambient continues until you reach around the 50-second mark, where you hear panting and block placing with what seems to be an Enderman chasing you before the disc just cuts off and ends. Overall, it's just a quick little unnerving lore dropping that acts more like a shelf sitter. Now let's see what the guest table thinks about it. Tell me, sir, why do you like this disc? No, you're the short one. And with this one, these cap off the lore discs. I placed this one slightly higher than the last two just because of the production and sounds. It starts off with ambiguous cave noises like the other two. Then you hear someone start to build a deep slate. That sound slowly melts into the sound of like very large footsteps, and it's just a very cool transition to hear. You start to hear some creature, and then there's a sudden reverb effect that actually leads it into an actual music portion. And this part of the audio kind of sounds like the backing track to some random 90s yoga instruction video. And the music ends way before I can finish my downward dog. And we hear more cave noises. And after a lot of those, I just want to play what happens next. That's right, a cool ass warden jump scare just before it ends. And between the ending and the music portion, that's why I rank this one higher. There's a lot to like about Chirp. Its increasing symphony of different sounds forms a creepy old record into a dance-style classic. It takes till around the halfway point for me to really start getting in the flow of this song. The vinyl record-style opening is weirdly unnerving at times, and after around 1 minute the beat randomly switches to a very airy and very simplistic sound. And then the beat just kicks in again, like the opening, but this time it's much clearer and spacious. And when it culminates to the 1 minute 47 mark, it's nice, and that's when I really start to feel this song. And the closing is just very nice and soft. Now let's head over to the guest table. Mall is able to give you a very liminal space feeling. It gives you the feeling that you just walked into a mall that is entirely empty. There's nothing but you and a 2-story hallway with constant stores on each side. It gives you this sense of quiet urban adventure. It slowly continues to add more and more instruments before it returns to that simplistic mall background music sound. This song is one of the first on my lo-fi playlists, and it definitely still holds up. See what our guests have to say. Oh, you're still here? Blocks is maybe the most simplistic out of all of these, which is kind of funny because it acts as the longest of any of the discs with a runtime of 5 minutes and 43 seconds. It follows a very bouncy beat with interchanging instruments following it. It's one of the most upbeat ones, and it's just fun to mess around with friends to. And we do have a guest, so let's see what they have to say. Wise words. Bar is definitely the most relaxed out of any of the music discs. Just because it's a nice song to fall asleep to doesn't mean it's bad though. Bar is very nice piano mixed into it, and the second half is just an explosion of color. It's a very pretty track that is a very pleasant listen, and I'll let our guest, who's the king of pie, explain why he likes this disc so much.
Far has that Saturday morning I'm gonna hop on Minecraft and do some exploring type of vibe. Blocks is decent but not as good as Far though.
Cat follows the simplicity of Blocks and Far, but is slightly more memorable with its loose instrumentation at the start, leading into a tight synth formation, all culminating into a very nostalgic listen that brings back so many memories. Also, like any of these music discs, the progression into the climax is great. And let's see what our guest has to say about it. Oh my god, he ate the bird. I wasn't expecting to put Melohi so high, but here we are. The more I listen to it, I start to enjoy the spooky waltz it's presenting. Also, this can be music for any sort of scenario where the main character is doing something a little bit devious. And the old style filter over it just gives it character and the ability to stand out from the crowd of the rest of the discs. It acts like a backing track to a haunted circus in a Scooby-Doo episode, but honestly it works for it. Let's see what our guest Remy has to say about it though.
I really like it because it starts out slow and then the snare starts hitting and makes it a different flavor in music.
I never actually listened to this disc in full until now, and I realized how much I was missing out. This song is so layered and it's so full of life that it just makes me smile when I listen to it. The production is just so great on this. Once it reaches that 2 minute 5 second mark, I find myself full on headbanging to this song. And it's just so different, and I barely ever say this word, but this song is honestly a vibe. Just barely missing the top 5, Wait is probably the most forgotten of all the music discs to me. I always feel like I mix it up with Ward, and I never appreciate it for what it is. Wait takes the simplicity of some of the lower tier songs and advances it and takes it to its full potential. The almost beatboxing style snares with the higher synths make it probably the most fun listen out of any disc. Now guest, what do you have to say? Oh, Oh, he's not here? I guess we'll have to wait for him. This song is the definition of the whole "for the memes" craze back in the day, and I'm okay with that. I know me and many of my friends have ranked Stall as their top song at some point, and that's definitely okay. Stall is a jazz-based, classy yet spunky style song through and through. The bass guitar is just so soothing, but one thing stops me from really enjoying this song. It's that weird recorder-sounding instrument that just comes out of nowhere at points of the song. But otherwise, it's great. Let's see what our guest has to say. Whoa. Is that me from a few years ago from that random bar episode I did on that one random SMP?
Yes.
Ward is definitely a surprise to listen to. As a kid, I always skipped it because I didn't like the weird funeral music at the start, but the more you get through the song, the better it gets. Ward might be the most 8-bit classic arcade style song to exist. It's a very enjoyable song, and there's many things I like about it. But the part that ranks it so high is the last quarter of it. It embraces the 8-bit style entirely for a smooth closer, and gives it the sense of wonder that Minecraft music should. Oh jeez, what do I say about this song? 11 is one of the shortest tracks out of all the music discs, but that doesn't stop it from being beautiful. 11 is a very somber piano ballad that is just so great. It's one of those songs that you just sit and ponder life to. I'll just have my guest explain why it's so great. Oh wait, that's me.
11 is full of just heart and sorrow, and I feel as if I can just sit and look into a sunset and remind myself what's good in life.
That's not what I sound like.
Yes, it is.
Pig Step can only be classified as a certified club banger. It starts with one of these droning sounds and leads into like a Luigi's Mansion type beat, but it works. It gives off the energy of someone's day in the life of a nether inhabitant. This song just has the best production of any Minecraft music disc. You can hear the layering of this song, and it feels so dead yet so alive at the same time. And we actually have two guests for this song. And why do you say this is your favorite song?
Pigstep is new and a banger. Most of my music is more upbeat and aggressive like Pigstep.
And Tyler, what did you have to say about it?
Good song.
Strad is and always will be the definitive Minecraft music disc. This disc is the culmination of all of C418's music. It reminds me so much of the old ambient Minecraft music, and it just acts as a reminder of how great that music is. Every part of the song is so mystical and so wondrous. From the woodwinds to the string, it's a song that captures the creativity of Minecraft perfectly. It's the perfect timing coming in at 3 minutes 8 seconds, and it fills it perfectly throughout. And let's see what our final guest has to say about it. Goat Simulator?
Yes, it is me, my child. I have come to confirm that Strad is the best song. It is very tropical and a certified classic.
Oh, well, thank you? Anyways, that concludes this video. I've weirdly been listening to the Minecraft soundtrack a lot lately. It's weirdly good, and it's very different from my original music taste, which been a nice change. And again, feel free to comment your own lists, or feel free to leave comments disagreeing with my list. I really like to hear you guys' opinion on this subject. And until next time,